Hello, hello, hello. It's turn 48, and I skipped a few turns, captured these with the Pretender God, and you may notice that I have two candles on Germon's capital. We're still not at war, and I'm actually going to try and dom kill him. Now, what I discovered is that to see the candles, you have to have a unit in or adjacent to the province, plus your own dominion nearby. So I can see these candles because I have a scout in this province, but I can't see the candles here, which is quite strange. Now, I think Jomon had 8 candles. No, this place I think had like 7 or 8 candles. So I think his dominion strength is about 8. And this has gone down by several candles. This has gone down by 1 candle in my favour in the past turn. And basically it's looking like I can actually dom kill him, assuming he doesn't like notice and build temples and priests. So this is obviously just ridiculous. But that's why I'm doing it, because it's funny. And I have actually been, I'm doing blood sacrifices everywhere. I've got sacrificing, this guy's going to move over here and sacrifice, 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 sacrifice with a holy 3, sacrificing, not sacrificing up here because I haven't organised it. I've got a little bit of a sacrifice going on here though. I've got more sacrificing here, more sacrificing here, more sacrificing here and here, and probably here as well. No? Okay, well I'll fix that. Yeah, and here. So it's not looking too good for the candles of Jomon right now. And as for the summoning of fallen angels, I have actually only been doing 1 per turn so far because I've just been making so many sanguine dowsing rods. In the past few turns I've gone up from 50 to 78, and in 2 more turns I'll have about 100, and at that point, yeah, I'm actually mostly cancelling new blood mage training. I'm making some chant makers instead because I want to save up for more temples. I've got 23. So yeah, it will be quite funny if I can dominion kill Jomon while he still has like 25 provinces or something. How many is it? It's like, yeah, it looks like about 20. Perrin is obviously just signing out. There's not much he can do. In fact, there's nothing he can do, so here's the latest province seizure with some lifelong protections and stuff. Pangaea is dying to Femini, but I don't really fear Femini. Although Femini will actually be... Femini that conquers Pangaea will actually be about as big as I will be. But he won't have Fallen Angels. Oh yeah, so I have geared some Fallen Angels up. So look at this. Soul Vortex, Phoenix Pyre, Fire Shield, Battle Fury, and Skeletal Body with... Oh, actually I forgot the most important buff, which is... Blessing, of course. So I think we'll put this in... What? Oh, they can't bless. Whoops. I completely forgot that they can't bless themselves. Oh, well that's quite a... do I even have a I mean, they don't need to be blessed, really. But that's kind of disappointing. That's very disappointing, actually. Let me find a... boots somewhere. We must have a spare set of messenger boots. I want them to be blessed because I want it to be totally overpowered. Whatever, I can't be bothered to find any boots. We'll just figure that out in future. But that's quite... I thought they were priests. Yeah, so I'll be making some... I think I'll still give them the amulets of anti-magic. It's just that the reinvigoration, the girdles of might, will be replaced by this item. So that'll be something to remember for next time. Research is not really accelerating now because I just don't feel the need to accelerate it beyond 1500. It might accelerate a little bit, but we've already got a lead. What else is there to actually say? So their reinvigoration is 6 and their encumbrance is 6, so we should be okay, even if Soul Vortex gets clogged up by like illusory warriors. I think the Fire Shield, yeah, it'll be fine. I'm going to make 100 Blood Hunters. I'm making some wolves. I'm also making some of this thing, yeah, these, because you know, just to do some more blood patrolling. I'll stop casting that pretty soon, but I think it's worth it to cast it now on turn 48. It's not too late to cast that, and when my Pretender gets in here, she'll probably cast 3 sets of Draconian, whatever they're called, 3 or 4 sets of Draconian Chieftains. Although I might even summon a Queen of Storms and get her to do it, because we will get Conjuration 8 next. I've got a huge amount of pearls, and I should probably spend those too, but I only have Astral 3. So my Pretender is my only source of... In fact, she can't summon the Queen of Storms. So I'll summon a Harbinger once she has put on a couple of Astral boosters, and that will be how I do that. So it seems like this game, like I said, is totally over, but I thought I'd keep you in the loop a little bit. That was turn 48. Hello, chaps. Am I... What the hell, man? Why is it so bad? Why is it not... You should be hearing stuff, right? Anyway, yeah, hello, it's turn something or other. It's the next turn, actually, turn 49, and still nothing has really happened. Captured a fortress, I think, or besieged a fortress. Some scouts got killed. Got enough blood slaves together to summon 2 fallen angels this turn. What else is going on? Not really very much. I'm making 3 great swords to sell to Femini, which I probably shouldn't be. But yeah, I just fired up the... Oh, and I'm still trying to dom kill Jomon, but we only got up to 3 here. 3 candles. And I think this was 3 candles last turn, wasn't it? So, feels like we're not making a huge amount of progress. He also cast Stellar Focus here, which is actually nice because it means we will only be at 3 magic instead of 4 when I claim this throne, so that's convenient. Anyway, the reason I fired this up, we found some sites, which is nice, just generic stuff. Wow, that's quite a lot of blood slave. That's a lot of blood hunting. Oh yeah, this is why I fired up the turn. You want to see this? I've never actually done this before. Why am I actually can't hear anything. What have I done to this fucking game? Okay, that would be why. Holy fuck, now it's deafening. Okay, right. That should be less deafening. Ah, it's still deafening for me. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, okay. Here's our Fallen Angel thugs, and it's looking pretty good. They're buffing themselves up. The only thing that's missing is a bless that would give them... it would give them like some extra 5 reinvigoration. You can see how this guy starts out at 89. He's at 89 fatigue right now. Let's see where he ends up. This guy is all the way down at 0 fatigue from the Soul Vortex. They're doing 1 billion damage. Look at how fast all this dies. This guy is down to 31 fatigue. So it's going to be very, very hard. How do you actually kill this? Like, you can kill it with Frozen Heart spam, but then it takes a few casts. It'll come back to life, and it'll have 6 reinvigoration, plus Soul Vortex, plus hopefully Bless when I get myself organized. I'll replace this with a Blessing thing, because it's more reinvigoration. And yeah, this is just total ownage. I mean, I guess it's not really surprising that they can clear chaff, but it's pretty fun. It's a good omen for the future. And Femini just bought 3 Great Swords of Sharpness off me, which is kind of stupid, because really Femini and I are the 2 big powers, so we should actually be at odds, but I'm just not really feeling in a big rush to make enemies right now, because I feel like I actually win on the timer now. If the game ended right now, I would win, because I have the most provinces, and no one has 4 thrones, or no one has 3 thrones, I have 2. And I could easily get 3 if I just defeat Jomon. As for Jomon, well, they actually do have Enchantment 7, apparently, so their research is not really that bad. In fact, I don't have an Enchantment 7, so they have some research that I don't. But I cannot believe that they can possibly kill Fallen Angels, especially since all of their gold is being spent on upkeep for these sort of obsolete medium infantry. So once I have some more Fallen Angels, I can very easily and swiftly conquer all of this. The only hiccup will be punching through the wall integrity of these forts, and I might actually make some gate cleavers just for that. I could make 1 gate cleaver a turn. I could also summon some Draconians, and I'll summon some Harbingers. I guess that's not really... Do they actually have siege strength? They might have siege strength because of their horn. That might be an interesting play. Some of the angels have horns. you know, like to blow on. And we've also got, that sounds worse, and we've also got some sea trolls. They're pretty good for siege strength, I guess. 5 soldiers apiece, it's like an extra, 355 here is not so bad. We can summon some more of them in like 2 turns. And how much siege strength do we have here? 282. That's got to be mostly from the soul contracts. I mean, each of these is another 4. So if we have like 100 of them, we have 480 siege strength from devils. So maybe I should have kept making soul contracts, actually. But fallen angels are obviously better. And we do have quite a few fallen angels. I think you can see how many that you actually have now. So they should be in here somewhere. 93 fucking diabolists. Oh man, I really need to stop scaling the blood hunting because it's kind of overkill. Wow, 33 lizard shamans. Where the fuck are they now? Why are they not? This is so annoying. 5. Okay, I've got 5, and it's +2 per turn. So I should have 15 on turn 55 at least, and I'll actually. So in 6 turns, I might like start the war with Germon and send a fallen angel into every single province that isn't forted. And maybe the ones that are forted as well. And the ones that he's patrolling in with troops. Like, what happened in Graingate here? Okay, so he's patrolling with troops there, and he's patrolling with troops there. I need to remember these 2 provinces. Yeah. Fallen angels on top of that would just be hilarious. It would just be so funny. But I just don't really need to attack, so I'm not really attacking. I'm gaining so much strength internally. Imagine having two. I'm literally making 2 fully geared super combatants every single turn, and there's very little. I mean, you can kill them once, but killing them over and over again while they Soul Vortex, Phoenix Pyre up, it's pretty hard. And this bless is not really a very powerful blessing, but I think it gets leveraged pretty hard when you have Soul Vortex, Phoenix Pyre, super competence. So I'm pretty excited for this. I'm pretty excited. But I just don't need to pull the trigger yet. Like, it's going to take a little while longer for Femini to break through Pangaea. Actually, maybe, yeah, Femini has really bad siege strength. Like, the Lady Knights, let's have a look at their siege strength. Pretty poor. Femini City Guards, pretty poor siege strength. Femini Veiled ones, considering it's a cap-only sacred, pretty poor strength and siege strength. And this has, it does have 1,000 wall integrity. And then there's a couple more. I should probably be intervening, but whatever. I guess I'm just lazy, and I'm still conquering some provinces. I mean, I took a throne. And I shouldn't justify my laziness and timidity. It sounds kind of pathetic. So I've summoned 2 hordes from hell. I'm getting some patrols out finally, and I'm still ramping up the blood sacrificing. I think this guy Carmont, where is he now? He's going to be Holy Fall blood sacrificing. I might ram him right into White Peaks. I think that might be the most powerful location for him. That would probably be the most powerful location to push Dominion out into Germon. The most forward positioned. Oh yeah, and I'm also bidding for 1,209 gold for Agiraspides, purely because Pangaea offered me like a regen ring for it. So it's not really worth it, but it's technically going to inconvenience Femini, and I kind of like to agree to their deals, however pointless they are, just for like the sake of politeness. I guess I'm being way too nice, but it doesn't matter. That was turn 49. I hope you enjoyed the absolute ownage. Let's have that again. Let's view this again. Total ownage of these hapless independents. And I might have to look at taking out some of these buffs, because going up to 89 fatigue is probably not really necessary. Even if it does immediately get taken away completely. Holy shit, look at the fucking DPS, man. These tridents are good weapons. It's a good weapon, man. It's a really good weapon. So that is, wow, we're killing quite a few people here. 168 in the Pristia, killed by 40 imps. It's rather unpleasant. Yeah, so that's turn 49. Hello, it's turn 51. Oh, what? This is taking so fucking long. Okay, there we are. And we found a whole bunch of sites, but that doesn't really matter. Sparkling fields, so astral, water, death, air, quite a lot of sites. Interesting that this one doesn't show up if you only search in air, in water 2, and I actually took the Sea King Troll King to find that. But anyway, turn 51. Why am I loading into this turn? Well, it's to show you that I now have dominion over these two provinces and this province as well. This one was 2 enemy candles last turn, so looks like Dominion. Looks like Germon is going to get Dom killed. He has 1, 2, 3 temples, and that's it, and presumably a god and a prophet lying around. I'm trying to get a scout in here to track his remaining candles, because apparently you need a scout. This guy has 110 stealth, so he might be able to sneak past. So that describes Germon. Basically, he's not doing anything. As you can see, he's also the last guy to finish this turn. Now, it's kind of mean of me to not attack him. That would be the honourable way to treat him. But look, it's not every game that you get the opportunity to dominion kill someone who still has 22 provinces remaining. So that's why I'm doing it. It's very bad manners, and it's very bad sportsmanship. But I'm never going to have this opportunity again. That's why I have to do it. I am going to have to apologise to him. So this whole area is getting cleaned up, of course. But anyway, let's talk about Pangaea. It looks like he's staging a bit of a comeback somehow, perhaps with geared pan thugs. I think that might be why. Femini bought 3 great swords of sharpness off me, and he's still going to win the war, I'm pretty sure. Although it's actually not looking too bad at this particular instant. And it also looks like this province has not been taken. So I'm actually going to see if I can expand into this province and cast a Wizard's Tower there, just to totally dab on them. I'm going to expand using a Fallen Angel with... it's so... I'm just fooling around at this point, because, look, I'm a late age Marignon, it's turn 51, and I have 100 Sanguine Dowsing Rods. It's ridiculous. And I also have 9 Fallen Angels. Let me scroll through. So yeah, this game is extremely over. And where is it? 9. Yeah, 9 of them. So this game is very, very over. They're not actually fully geared because I keep making useless stuff, and I really need to organize this better. Let's see, helmets, boots. This is useless for them. Weapons, and shields, and spellcaster stuff, and risk slots, and this is... Okay, so, yeah, I even found some death sites, this from a Dark Knowledge the first turn, because it had death paths, and death scales. Oh, and you know, Peren's extremely dead as well, but on the plus side, Peren has he's called his god back, which is quite funny, and it killed my patrolling troops. Look at that. So, you know, it's quite a funny, cute play for him to do, but I'm going to Soul Slay it next turn, and I guess he should be holding that too, shouldn't he? And he should be holding that just for good measure. Let's fully gear him, just if we can, just on principle. And what else is going on? Yeah, Wizard's Tower. I guess I could do 3 red seconds, but I might as well do Wizard's... I actually can't do 3 red seconds or Wizard's Tower because I don't have any Earth Gems. I didn't think about that. I need to cancel this coin forging. Then we'll have a little bit more Earth Gems. I also need to... Now, there's a really cool feature now where you can do this and you can see all the forging you're doing. So if any of these use Earth Magic, I will cancel them. But it looks like they don't. Earth Gems, that is. So, why am I making 1,000,000 fucking shrouds? What the fuck is this? Yeah, he should make, like, some armor or something, or a shield. He's just going to make that. Okay, well that's turn 51. I just wanted to show you how ridiculously over this game is. Hello, it's turn 54 and Jomon has been Dominion killed. Let me remove these arrows so you can see it a bit more clearly. That is a 23 province player being killed during peacetime by Dominion kill. So, yeah, that guy kind of stopped making an effort after some point. It was quite strange. So Jomon's dead. Femini also has told me he's lost the war and that I can attack his provinces with impunity, although he still has his great sitter flying around. But look what happened in one of those provinces we attacked. It also got attacked by a pan. And so we had a fallen angel. Here's my fallen angel. Now, there's a big problem with this guy, which is he's not blessed, because he's not fully geared. So he actually has no reinvigoration items, and he can't use Soul Vortex, because the Pan's magic resistance is too high. So he actually... And the other problem is, if you look at his protection, it's 17. He has 17 protection and 5 shock resistance. Meanwhile, the Pan has 5 shock resistance and 33 protection. So the Pan has really good thug paths. These are also very good thug paths, but in a very different way. So what happens eventually is that... Let me just turn that noise down. What eventually happens is that the fallen angel dies twice and runs away on the third life. How long does this take? It's a fucking noodle fight, for sure. You know, and we actually get some good damage in at some point, but it's sadly nowhere near enough. So there's the first death. Where's my fallen angel? Yeah, and he's actually asleep for a bit. And this is quite spooky, because he has no reinvigoration going. So he barely wakes up in time. Well, he actually quite easily wakes up in time. And he's falling asleep quite a lot now. So it's okay, but when he gets stunned, then that gives him some time to reinvigorate himself instead of getting killed, instead of melee attacking. And then he runs away. Okay, he runs away, and I think he got diseased. Did he get diseased or something? What did he get? A limp? No, that's not the same guy. Where's it? Did he die on retreat? Where the fuck did... Oh, I equipped him differently. I equipped him because there's a laboratory here. Okay, well, so that's that. So, Pangea might actually have more pans than I can summon fallen angels, but I can just equip them really, really well. There's no way Pangea can compete with all of this gem income. So, yeah, the game is even more extremely over than it has ever been before. Wow, look at all these movement commands. That's crazy. I'm going to screenshot that. Absolutely wild. So, yeah, and I apologise to Germon for killing him in such a dishonourable way. Oh, and yes, the mystery behind Pirenne. So there was a mystery behind Pirenne of why didn't he play victim in Coalition Me? Why did he say his Diplo was deliberately sort of aggressive and prideful and rude? Well, he actually said that this was his first ever multiplayer match. Pirenne was a noob as well. So I've been tryharding this game while literally all 4 enemy players were complete noobs. This was his first multiplayer match, and of course he played very well with that in mind. But it does explain why he failed to secure retreat routes, which was his, and why he kind of moved. He failed when he moved like 30 sacreds down here. That was also a fail. So, you know, it kind of explains why he failed in those two senses and why his Diplo and strategy was a bit wrong. But yeah, he was being deliberately rude and arrogant in order to come across as confident. He didn't want people to guess that he hadn't had any multiplayer experience, which is kind of hilarious because I fell for it. I thought he was an intermediate player, and he deliberately at the start of the game posted some observations about like the national design, the national pretender god selections or whatever, and he was deliberately posing as an experienced player, and that actually made me attack him. Now, he was actually better than the other players anyway, but it was kind of... Isn't that funny? That's kind of funny and weird. But anyway, the game is over, and I'll post future turns because they'll have some cool thug battles between fallen angels and pans. The game is decided. It's not literally over. Pan and I are still going to fight each other for a bit. It might take me 20 turns to kill him. Hello, chaps. It's turn 57, and I think I forgot to record a couple of turns here, but as you can see, I've taken over pretty much the entire map. I've just taken over these German fortresses. I'm claiming the throne. So I've got this throne, German's Pan's Minotaur forces moving off, and I've basically swamped the entire map with fallen angels, and it's all totally over. I got a visit from the Great Sitter this turn, and he died to Banefire, actually, because I had this guy an advancing cast. Let's actually show that, because it looks pretty cool. And here he is with his full gear, which I actually made for him. I don't know why he's missing an item. What was that? What was that item? I wonder what it was. Weird. Oh, it's two-handed, so he's not missing an item. Anyway, he's about to get wrecked. Advance and cast. Banefire! And then there's another Banefire. Also killed about 20 of my troops, but never mind. So that was pretty cool. And we've got a lot of raiding going on. Pans and Fallen Angels raiding everywhere. Actually, for some reason, there have been few Pan versus Fallen Angel fights so far, and generally the Pans win, usually by making the Fallen Angels run away. I think the only Fallen Angel death I've had is when I forgot to script. The spell. Yeah, it was the one in the lake. I forgot to give him Phoenix Pyre when he came out of the lake, which was rather dim. What else is going on? Well, yeah, the game is extremely over. I've been saying that for a little while, and now you can see that it's entirely true, although I'm sure you didn't doubt me anyway, because it was pretty incontrovertible. And let's just have a look at this. Look at this income graph. Look at this. And I guess I could have done this earlier, but you know, I only equipped and summoned all these fallen angels recently. And let me just see how many I actually have now. I have one archdevil, only one. No, an archdevil, a harbinger, an archangel, 2 sea kings, the titan pretender god, 4 draconian chiefs because one got killed by barbarians, 20 fallen angels, 2 more archdevils, and there are 2 flame spirits. Yeah, so we're pretty stacked. We're extremely stacked, in fact. And I guess these guys are going to come over here. So Pan did get a palisades here. Also, I'm going to move into this province now, and I might make some gate cleavers or something, because when I take this province, I win the game instantly. So there you go. And I guess this guy will actually search for magic sites. I've been wondering this whole game if there would be death sites there. And I'm actually going to ramp up my fallen angel production to 3 per turn. I'm making the items to enable that. And I can make another of these. Scutar Devil Turnus. And we've finished the turn, okay. But Femini hasn't. Hello, chaps. It's turn 60, and the game is over. I won. They're acclaiming me as the winner, although I could take this province pretty soon, throne pretty soon, and then win that way. Yeah, and the final battle was on Pangea's cap. First I teleported in with my pretender god, and oddly enough, her buff script actually got interrupted, which I think is really strange because she's got this ability. So I guess it's good to know that that's a thing. And as you can see, I had a trap laid for me, which is foul vapors. And goodness, these bog beasts do pretty good damage. 10 poison damage? Or are they not doing any damage? Anyway, so I failed to gem burn him because he has some cornucopias equipped. So here's the last battle of the game. And I brought 12 fallen angels and an archdevil and an archangel as well, which is just a tiny little bit awkward. So he's got his tree that casts Tal, and he's got his foul vapors caster. He's been bigging up his super pan that can beat an infinite number of fallen angels, and it's just a foul vapors caster, which is just him being humorous, I guess. But yeah, here they are. They're all casting their buff scripts. They're all mostly fully equipped. But yeah, he was really bigging it up as, oh, I'm going to beat your fallen angels with my super thug. But it's just a foul vapors trap, I guess. It's not even much of a trap, of course. So we just kill the fuck out of everything on the field pretty much instantly. And with that, the game is over. So there you have it, turn 60, and who's to say that a 60-turn game doesn't let you get high research? Goodness. I mean, no level 9s, but let's just have a look at how many. I have 26 fallen angels, so yeah, it's definitely a good time to end the game. And with that, I guess I'll leave my closing thoughts for later. Hello, chaps. It's I've actually technically won inside the game now on turn 62. So let's click through all the graphs. Provinces, we actually expanded the same as Peren. I thought I was slightly better, but this is where it really changes, is this huge gap here. And if you look at the army size, this is actually just before our big fight, because so he actually declined a lot before we even had a first fight. What am I looking at? Province count. So yeah, and then after that, even before killing Peren, I'm ahead of everyone else on provinces, and that's why I was so defensive and just played Farmville, because I was already going to win. I was always ahead on fort count. Income is actually kind of funny. I was behind, same story kind of, but I dented it a lot with blood hunting unrest. So I was never that far ahead on income. But then you have the gem income is absolutely crazy, because like you saw, I was sight searching everything to and every path other than death. Blood income, this ended up at about 400 or maybe it's probably 300 per turn. Research ended up at a pace of, this was probably 400, then you're getting into 900 around here, then you're getting into 1600, and you can see how Germon was pretty strong on the research. He was pretty strong on the gem income and the gold income. But he was the weakest on Dominion, and that's why his army size, which was also the biggest, goes... Oh man, that is so funny. That is so fucking funny. Yeah, so I think but the most interesting thing is how this is probably the most crucial part of the graph. Actually, let's do province count. You see, this is Peren and me expand well, the other three do badly, and then even before fighting Peren, his province count declines a lot. Hello. I've got some closing remarks to make. So if we go through these score graphs, I think I already discussed this a few days back in real life, but you can kind of see how the income sort of switches here, right? So I was already set to win the game from about here, which is in between blood income and research up here. Now, if you look at army size, I actually didn't fight Peren at all. So I roared ahead of him on income before we even had the slight fight where I assassinate his 28 guys with my Pretender God teleporting in. Then we had the big fights over here. But, so even before the fighting, so this was kind of a really one-sided game, apart from Peren, but even then, pretty one-sided. Instantly killing Jomon, like, this is hilarious, especially since he was technically leading in army size and, not research, but he was second in research. Army size and gem income and mundane income, he was pretty significant in all of those. What else do I want to say on the... what would I do differently? Well, I probably wouldn't do anything differently, except maybe I wouldn't go heat. Cold, I would probably go heat. Although the cold is quite nice for evocations, and the cold is quite nice since my troops are slow. So the cold scales do slow down my mages, but I feel like that's not really that important actually. And maybe boosting cold evocations, weakening fire evocations, and allowing more room for abuse in the form of devil flying movement and fallen angel flying movement and sailing movement. I think I might actually play the pretender design exactly the same. What would I do differently though in terms of recruitment? I think the units I would recruit are basically identical. If I went for this Pretender God, you could go like Righteous. You could go for a full scales build and expand with these, or you could do a sort of anti-elite build on these guys with charged bodies. But I would probably go with the super competent expander again. Although then again, she does die to magic shield, so I'm not actually sure I would do that. I got very lucky that my only strong opponent had no astral mages. So what would I do differently? I think there's a couple of things to say about the mage recruitments. Mage recruitment, so I kept on recruiting these guys rather mindlessly to Blood Hunt, but actually what you could do is recruit these, and if they're Blood 2, then you use them to Blood... hang on. I was about to say half of them are Blood 2, so that these are your Blood Hunters, but actually only 1/4 of them are. Okay, I was going to say that you could have half of them Blood Hunting, and then the other half does combat magic and researching and forging, but actually that's not true. So the Any Fort recruitments I would keep the same. These guys, I don't really get the point of them. So they exist to disrupt the scripting of enemy thugs, but you can do that with a lifelong protection or a devil anyway. So it seems very, very redundant. The other point you could make is that 1d6 imp pets are probably worth like 20 gold, and they die every battle and then they come back to life in effect, as long as this guy survives. So I just don't really think it's worth it. So that kind of only leaves the cap only mages. Now, these are okay mages, and they are cheap, which helps you get your forts up and stuff in the early game. But I feel like it's not really worth it to chase the like 2% chance that it's a Glamour 3 mage, because that's what you would spam them for. So I would make these when you're limited on gold. Otherwise, you make a couple of these for Divine Blessing and Claiming Thrones. And I think you actually don't need to make loads of these guys. I think you only make these guys to get your Fire 3. I was about to say Fire 3, but you actually get that from Fallen Angels if it's so important. So maybe you make a Fire 3 one. Blood 1 is kind of useful for a Bloodstone forging, so that's good. The Astral you want for Fallen Angels. The Blood you want for making the blood boosting dagger. So you do want like maybe 2 of each of them. You do want to make 8 Goetic Masters. But I think the mage you should probably spam the most is actually the Royal Alchemist. And it didn't occur to me to use Alchemy this game, but the air is quite interesting for air-earth combo. The Astral 2 is not interesting. The water is not very interesting, although you could summon those green lions with the water fire, so that could be interesting. I think the main attraction though is to just get Earth 2s, because you don't get Earth 2s otherwise, and because this is cap only mage and it's only 1 in 5 that's Earth 2, it's not really that valuable. I guess you want like a Legions of Steel cast, you want Earth Boots Manufacturing, and you want Dwarven Hammers. Also Gifts from Heaven. So yeah, I think this is probably the mage I would gravitate towards making the most, making the most of. And that's on the gameplay side of things. Then I also want to comment on like the other players. So it's not my fault. They were all noobs. I feel like it was totally cringe that I made a whole video series where I'm tryharding on camera, and then it turns out that everyone is a noob and I'm just sort of bullying them. And this guy even died to a Dom kill when he had 23 provinces. So I kind of feel bad about that, and my penance is going to be that I am going to have to record myself in the second round, which I have like a 10% chance of winning in the second round. So I think that would be on my penance. I'm going to get crushed, almost certainly. And with that, that concludes the series, I think. There's not really anything else to say.